Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. A bit of background about Jocko Willink. He served 20 years as a Navy SEAL. He was in combat in Iraq during the Battle of Ramadi, a conflict that resulted in numerous medals for his efforts. After his tours, Willink served as a Navy SEAL instructor before forming Echelon Front with Leif Baben, a leadership training group that uses the lessons and expertise the pair learned as SEALs to train leaders beyond the military. Willink lives in San Diego, California. He is the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller Extreme Ownership, the children's book Way of the Warrior Kid, and the New York Times bestseller Discipline Equals Freedom, and the creator of the popular podcast Jocko Podcast. Summary of Discipline Equals Freedom. If you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline comes from within. Discipline is an internal force. Self-discipline, as the very term implies, comes from the self, you. Self-discipline comes when you decide to make a mark on the world. Become the discipline. Embrace its cold and relentless power. And it will make you better and stronger and smarter and faster and healthier than anything else. And most important, it will make you free. Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now. You initiate action. You go. Take that first step and make it happen. The only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want you to be. Faster, stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. And you become that person through one small decision at a time. We are our minds. You, your mind, the thing that is reading and comprehending these words right now, that is you, and you can control it. You are the machine, and you can control it. You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Impose what you want on your brain. Discipline, power, positivity, will. Each and every day I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle, and I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws as I strive to be just a little better today than I was yesterday. Humans can withstand almost inconceivable stress, and you can too. So that is your first step, gain perspective. And to do that, you must do something critical in many situations. Detach. Whatever problems or stress you are experiencing, detach from them. Stress is generally caused by what you can't control. Don't stress about things you can't control. If the stress is something that you can control and you are not, that is a lack of discipline and a lack of ownership. Get control of it. Impose your will to make it happen. Solve the problem. Relieve the stress. If the stress is something you can't control, embrace it. It takes both emotion and logic to reach your maximum potential, to really give everything you have, to go beyond your limits. Because emotion and logic will both reach their limitations, and when one fails, you need to rely on the other. When it just doesn't make any logical sense to go on, that's when you use your emotion, your anger, your frustration, your fear to push further, to push you to say one thing: I don't stop. Fight weak emotions with the power of logic. Fight the weakness of logic with the power of emotion. Discipline starts with waking up early. Discipline is about facing your fears so you can conquer them. Discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. Discipline can seem like your worst enemy, but in reality, it is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. Knowledge is where your tools come from, because without knowledge, there is nothing. Let's take that one step further. Knowledge is the ultimate weapon. It trumps all other weapons. And you gain knowledge by asking questions. Which questions should you ask? Simple. Question everything. Don't accept anything as truth. Ask every question that comes to mind. That is how you learn. And most important, question yourself. Question yourself every day. Ask yourself, who am I? What have I learned? What have I created? What forward progress have I made? Who have I helped? What am I doing to improve myself today? Give every day everything you've got. And when you face a challenge, even something you don't believe you can win, or a situation where you know you cannot win, remember this: you have nothing to lose. When working with other people and dynamic situations and relationships and deals, a person, especially a leader, must compromise. You certainly have to be proactive in the world. You want to be dictating what happens, not responding to it. I don't view aggression as an outward attitude. I view aggression as an internal character trait, a fire in your mind that says, I am going to win. To me, it is not about nature or nurture. It is about choice. The people who are successful decide they are going to be successful. They make that choice. You are never too old to decide where you are going to focus your efforts and push to make the most out of every situation. Think not about what you've been through and where you were. Think about where you are going and choose. That is really what you need to be afraid of: being stagnant. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action, and don't let another day slip by. You've given it your best shot. You can stand down. You can back off. You can take a knee. This is the instinct that says, you can rest now. Do not listen to that instinct. You see, this instinct is a defense mechanism for your ego. It gives you an out, a place to run to. Get up, go, fight on. Make that your fundamental reaction to adversity. Make that your gut instinct, and you will overcome anything that stands in your path. Those days when I'm tired or worn out or just sick of the grind, what do I do on those days? I go anyway. I get it done. Even if I am just going through the motions, I go through the motions. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Taking a break is the one thing I put off until tomorrow. And if, when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need rest or you need a break, then go ahead, take it. Chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. We are the product of our mistakes. The most important thing to learn is that we have so much to learn. We get one shot at this gig right here. Life. One life. That's all we've got. And the most important thing to understand about regret is that in and of itself, regret is worthless. It does nothing for you. In fact, the only thing valuable in regret is the lesson you learned, the knowledge you gained. But walking around filled with regret gets you nothing. So, learn and move on. Don't let regret beat you down. Don't be a slave to regret. Embed that long-term goal in your mind. Burn it into your soul. Think about it. Write about it. Talk about it. Hang it up on your wall. But most important, do something about it. Every day. Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. Hesitation allows the moment to pass, the opportunity to be lost, the enemy to get the upper hand. Hesitation defeats us, so we must defeat it. Step up. Be the one who people look to. When bad things are happening, I will be the one good thing, standing tall, that can be relied upon. I will bolster those around me, and the positive attitude will spread. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. No, just look at the issue and say, good. Accept reality, but focus on the solution. Take that issue, take that setback, take that problem, and turn it into something good. Finally, if you can say the word good, then guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, that means you've still got some fight left in you. Death is a part of life, like the contrast between the darkness and the light. Without death, there is no life. And the people that I have lost, they taught me that. They taught me how precious life is, how blessed we are to have every day, to learn, to grow, to laugh, to live. Live for them, for those who don't have the opportunity. So, let us cry no more, let us mourn no more. Let us remember, but let us not dwell. Instead, let us laugh and love, and let us embrace and venerate everything that life is and every opportunity it gives us. Let us live for those who live no more. Let us live to honor them. To me, every day is a beginning, a new day, a new week, a new shot at life. Now is the time for strength, and through strength, and through will, and through unwavering discipline, I will become what I want to be. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. It is unreliable, and when you are counting on motivation to get your goals accomplished, you will likely fall short. So, don't count on motivation. Count on discipline. These notions that you can be whatever you want to be as long as you want it bad enough are not true. Look at what is possible. How close can I get to that greatness? How close can I get to that glory? But my glory, it doesn't happen in front of a crowd. It happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, where I try, and I try, and I try again, with everything I have, to be the best that I can possibly be. Better than I was yesterday. Better than people thought I could be. Better than I thought I could be. Most of us aren't defeated in one decisive battle. We are defeated one tiny, seemingly insignificant surrender at a time that chips away at who we should really be. Step aggressively toward your fear. That is the step into bravery. As long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end, because the darkness only wins if you let it. Instead, let these challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Let their adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow. So, in the future, you look back at these struggles and you say to them, "Thank you, you made me better." Do not reason with weakness. You cannot. You must only take action. Get up and go. Weakness is strong. I must be stronger. I must crush it into submission through force of will. Life is tough, but it gets a lot easier when you are laughing at it. One of the most powerful things you can do as a human being is learn to detach. You must detach from your ego. Recognize that emotions lead to bad decisions and bad behavior. You must detach from your emotions. Recognize that you must detach from your perspective. You have to see things from perspectives other than your own. Guess what? Winning takes work. It takes effort. It takes grind. The truth is the framework of discipline. And if you lie to yourself, you will not find discipline. If you lie to yourself, you will not be disciplined. Because if you tell yourself the truth, the unfiltered, unbridled, and unmitigated truth, that you have so much more potential and that you could become so much more. If you tell yourself that truth, the discipline will find you and you will not be able to get it out of your system. Stop lying to yourself. The truth is the fuel behind the discipline. When you view things in your life from a long-term strategic perspective, then absolutely, do what makes you happy. The problem comes when people decide to let that ethos drive their daily life. When people try to do what makes them happy every day, that is wrong. Do what makes you better. On top of your planning, be sure to make actual movement toward your goals every day. Never give up. Take charge of your mind and do what you know you should do. Comfort and luxury do not ambush you. You ambush yourself. You allow it to happen. Do not do that. Stay vigilant. Stay on the path. Do not negotiate with weakness. Shut those voices down. If you have things to do, do them. Do them hard. Don't let them hang over your head. Get them done. Line them up and knock them out. Get those tasks off your plate so that you can move on to bigger and better things. Thinking alone won't get you anywhere. Simple existence is not being alive. You have to take action. You have to move forward. You have to exert and strive and toil. Thoughts are not enough. Take action. Time offers no forgiveness. It grants pardon to no one. Have no mercy on your time. Don't allow it any slack. Don't let any slip by. You don't find happiness. You make it. You put forth effort. You work for it. You take on responsibility. You put yourself out there. You take risk to achieve a worthy goal. And in that pursuit, if you pay attention, if you look around, you will find happiness. When things are tough and I don't feel like going on, I don't say anything to myself. I don't think about anything. In fact, I shut my mind down and do what I'm supposed to do. Turn off your brain and let your body function independently. Your body doesn't need approval from your mind. It knows what it is supposed to do. Come up with a plan and stick to it. I'm not saying to drive a plan into the dirt and fail if it is not working, but for the most part, if possible, execute what you intended to execute. Do what you said you were going to do. Don't let voices or thoughts pull you off track. Part 2. Actions. Working out will make you smarter. Get some exercise done and pay attention to your mental state. You will feel more aware, sharper, and smarter. Stress is good and bad. In order to improve, we need stress. We need to push the body and the mind in order to get better. But stress can also be bad. If we are under too much stress and cortisol is released into the body too often, the immune system can become repressed, increasing blood pressure and causing hypertension, a sustained high blood pressure that causes damage to the heart and blood vessels. It can also encourage fat deposits and even cause some level of bone loss. Exercise is a form of stress and does cause the release of cortisol. However, just as exercise conditions the muscles and the heart, it also conditions the body to react properly to the release of cortisol and trains the body to keep cortisol levels balanced. So you have to be careful not to stress the body and mind too much. But again, you must stress the body and the mind some in order to improve. Get up before the sun. Be ready to attack. Yes, that means get up early. This will be hard at first, but it will become normal. Once you're accustomed to it, early rising is guaranteed to make your day better. There are a slew of psychological advantages that come from early morning physical training. First, there is a psychological win over the enemy. Another advantage to waking up early and working out hard is that it demands discipline to do both. I believe, and studies have shown, that discipline and willpower do not go down as they are called into action. They actually get stronger. When you're on the path, you want to stay on the path. Unfortunately, the opposite is also true. Once you step off the path, you tend to stray far. Sleep is a necessity. Humans need sleep. Failure to get enough sleep has serious side effects. You can also sleep less and fall asleep faster if you are in good physical condition, eating clean, and have a clear mind. Since sleep must be a priority to maintain health, how can we get enough sleep and still wake up early? The answer is simple. Go to bed earlier. Going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 5 a.m. gets you a solid 7 hours. So, go to bed early and wake up early. People constantly ask me for the secret of getting up early. I tell them it is simple. Set your alarm clock and get out of bed when it goes off. Getting a hard workout in the early morning will not only energize you during the day, but will also make you fall asleep faster at night. Unfortunately, you may find that working out just prior to going to bed will keep you awake. So try not to work out any closer than 2 hours before you want to sleep. Read. If your mind is still active when you reach your bedtime, that's okay. Get into bed and get a book and start reading. Reading is relaxing. It settles your mind and it makes you smarter. So do it. And if the book you are reading is too good and makes you want to stay up and read, simple, don't read that book. Read a boring one, an educational one, but a boring one. That will send you to sleep. Most important, the key to getting to sleep early is getting up early. Don't break the cycle. Get up early every day. If you need extra sleep, take a power nap. Everyone wants to know, what should a workout actually consist of? And first of all, let me say this. The most important thing to do is something. Exercise doesn't need to be so complex, multi-level, multi-dimensional, scientifically proven, but it does need to be something. Once you begin doing something, it is a good idea to track it. My workouts are divided into some broad types of movements: pull, push, lift, squat. In addition to those, the workouts focus working the gut and metabolic conditioning. Push yourself. Most important, be consistent. And consistency starts with getting in the gym. If you are tired or sore or burnt out, don't just give up completely. Go to the gym and stretch, move, do some light exercises, but keep the routine in place. Too often, people take the day off, and that turns into 2, and 2 into 3, and then they have gone a week without getting in a good workout. So, maintain the routine, maintain the discipline. Everyone should train in martial arts, just as everyone should eat. But just as food is different and varies greatly in how it affects your body, not all martial arts are created equal. There are three broad forms of martial arts: grappling, striking, and weapons. Perhaps the most critical form of self-defense is the mind. Being smart and aware, you can avoid situations that are likely to expose you to danger. Fuel, feeding the machine. Homeostasis is the tendency to move toward a state of balance. The body also tries to maintain a state of balance in many ways. There is another balance our bodies maintain that we have a huge influence over. It is our blood glucose level, what we commonly call our blood sugar level. We can directly influence our blood sugar levels by what we eat. In order to use the fat in your body for energy, the body must have gone through its most readily available source of energy, glucose or sugar in the blood. Once that is depleted, the body begins to utilize fat for energy. You can deplete that sugar in the blood by exercising until it is gone, fasting until it is gone, or adjusting your carbohydrate intake. So, the solution seems obvious. Stop eating carbohydrates, or at least minimize carbohydrate intake. Why is that so hard? The answer is simple. Carbohydrates are addictive. Yes, sugar is like a drug in your brain and causes neurochemical responses similar to drugs like heroin. That's why you can't stop eating it. And when you do stop eating it, you will feel withdrawal, headache, irritation, anxiety. Get off the sugar train. Get off the addiction. Stop eating sugar. Our bodies have not adapted to eating grains yet. When we eat grains, they are turned to sugar in our stomachs. The insulin level spikes and punishes our bodies internally. So, it is better to eat what we have evolved to eat. That is the diet of Paleolithic man or caveman. Here is what that diet consists of. Eat these: beef, preferably grass-fed; poultry, preferably free-range; fish, eggs, nuts, vegetables, fungi, roots, some dairy, full-fat butter, cream, yogurt, cheese; limited fruit. Do not eat these: grains, potatoes, refined salt, refined sugar, processed oils like margarine, and legumes. Don't follow the 80-20 rule. Follow the 100% rule. That might turn into the 99% rule, and that's okay. But the 80-20 rule isn't a rule. It's a step down the slippery slope. Going cold turkey and holding the line is the best way to stay on track. Once you have spent enough time staying 100% clean and you are adapted to that method of eating both mentally and physically, you can make some excursions to the dark side. I have an occasional mint chocolate chip milkshake or some other delicious but not nutritious treat. Over time, you will realize that you have lost your sweet tooth. You will also realize that the after effects, the sugar rush, the sugar crash, and the lack of energy the next day make the excursions to the dark side highly undesirable and will encourage you to stay clean. Now, there are times during travel and work and life when the right foods simply are not available. In an airport or an office party or a restaurant where you are having a business meeting. My solution to that is very simple. Don't eat. It's called a fast and it is actually very good for you. Often not eating, fasting, is beneficial for you. Here are some of the physiological benefits that fasting appears to bring. Improves function of cells, genes, and hormones. Induces loss of body fat. Reduces risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. Induces cell repair processes. Increases brain-derived neurotrophic factors. Increases levels of endorphins. And induces detoxification process. There are also some psychological benefits that I find very real. First of all, fasting demands that you exercise your will. In this age, much of the food around is actually trying to kill you. Stretching is an important part of being physically fit. It improves range of motion, helps in recovery, and also prevents injuries. Like anything else in health and fitness, stretching requires consistency. So figure out what movements are most beneficial for you. Don't pick too many. Stretching can be done in as little as 10 to 15 minutes, but it needs to be done, so make it part of your routine. Then, stick to your routine. Regardless of how careful you are in your training, how clean you eat, and how healthy you live, you are still human. Injuries and illness will occur. My theory for overcoming injuries and illness is simple. Do what you can. If you are sick or injured, don't use that as an excuse to skip workouts or stay in bed all day. Do what you can. Hurt your knee? Work your upper body. Work the good leg. Now, sometimes you get plain knocked out by illness or a virus. If it is that bad and your body absolutely needs rest, good. Listen to your body and take the rest. Also, don't bring your disease to the gym to spread around. Work out at home. Take advantage of physical injuries and sickness by doing something you don't normally have time for. In other words, get after it. Before you start your workout, you need to get warm. I like my warm-up to include exercises, or exercises with light weight, slowly and through the entire range of motion. Many jobs require travel. Travel can make working out difficult, but it doesn't make it impossible. There are many ways to get good workouts on the road. Whether you bring equipment, utilize someone else's, or join a local gym, it is almost always possible to set up or gain access to some kind of solid workout area and stay on the program. Sometimes the hotel doesn't have a gym, or it is just worthless, or I have a very tight schedule and don't have much time. In those cases, I often just do a hotel room workout on the floor. The hotel room workouts are rudimentary and again are usually not geared toward any great advancement in my physical conditioning. They are more focused on maintaining the discipline of working out early and getting the benefits that come from working out. Blood flow to the brain, releasing endorphins, and overall kickstarting my day. So, when you are on the road, don't get lazy. Don't get complacent. Don't use the road as an excuse. Get creative, get aggressive, get it done. When you are on the road, stay on the path.